You walk away from a conversation feeling entirely disoriented. You find yourself apologizing for things you didn't do, second-guessing your own memory, and carrying a heavy sense of guilt without knowing exactly why. That confusion is an engineered outcome. When you interact with someone using psychological manipulation tactics, the disorientation you feel is the direct result of their strategy. It relies on keeping you off balance. Today, we are going to identify those specific tactics. We will break down exactly how they function, and we will build a tangible, personalized manipulation defense playbook to counter them. Take a moment to prepare. Open a digital notes app or grab a pen and paper. Think of a specific relationship in your life right now that consistently leaves you feeling drained or doubting yourself. Keep that dynamic in mind as we go through these steps. Our objective here is not to change the other person's behavior. We are doing this to regain your personal power by setting clear, unshakable boundaries that protect your peace. Let's start building your playbook. Step 1 is countering the attempt to rewrite the narrative. Manipulators rely on distorting the facts of an interaction so heavily that you lose your footing. This often happens through gaslighting. It happens slowly, one small denial at a time. You remember something clearly, and they gently insist it never happened, slowly training you to trust their version of reality over your own memory. For your playbook, your first tool is the reality anchor. As soon as a confusing interaction ends, physically write down the facts of what was said and done. Documenting the event secures your memory before anyone has a chance to twist it. Now, look at this cycle. This is a specific tactic called DARVO, which stands for Deny, Attack, and Reverse Victim and Offender. It is designed to dodge accountability entirely. You bring up a legitimate hurt. First, they deny it happened. Then they attack how you brought it up. Finally, they flip the script and make themselves the victim. Suddenly, you are no longer discussing the original harm. You are defending your tone and your timing. Here is your exact defensive script to break this loop. When they flip the script, pause. Say, I am willing to talk about this, but not if the original issue keeps getting buried. DARVO requires your confusion to work. By remaining clear and anchoring yourself strictly to the facts of the original issue, you dismantle their narrative control. Step 2 focuses on speed. Manipulators frequently use the pacing of a relationship as a weapon to bypass your rational judgment. Love bombing uses intense, accelerated affection to sweep you away. You receive constant texts, huge compliments, and sudden gifts. It creates a high that forces a feeling of connection before actual trust has the time to form. Compare these two timelines. The erratic dots on the left represent breadcrumbing. This is when someone gives you vague, unpredictable attention to keep you hooked, while dodging real commitment. The right side shows what a stable progression actually looks like. Both love bombing and breadcrumbing strip away your emotional stability. They trap you in a constant loop of anticipation and letdown, leaving you wondering what you did wrong when they inevitably pull back. Write down this rule for your playbook. Measure patterns, not promises. Decide right now that vague, out-of-reach behavior is simply not enough for you. Genuine connection grows quietly and takes space. If the relationship relies entirely on a sudden rush of intensity or prolonged periods of scarcity, it is a performance. Step 3 deals with quiet emotional tension. These tactics can be hard to spot because they rely entirely on what is left unsaid. The silent treatment operates on absence. Instead of taking a healthy pause for space, the person goes cold and unreachable. They use silence as a calculated punishment to force you to chase them and apologize. Guilt tripping works similarly. It relies on a sigh or a passive comment about everything they have done for you. It turns care into a currency and makes you feel selfish for doing something as basic as saying no. Look at how we can categorize these feelings on screen. Before you apologize, check the source. Real guilt happens when you violate your own values. Manipulated guilt is a control tactic used to punish you for holding a boundary. Add this script to your playbook to diffuse passive aggression. If you're upset, I am open to talking, but I will not be punished with silence. You are allowed to protect your peace. You can hold your boundary firmly, no matter how much uncomfortable tension the other person tries to generate in the room. Step 4 addresses external pressure. A manipulator will often pull other people into your dynamic to shift the balance of power in their favor. This diagram illustrates triangulation. This is the act of pulling a third party into a private conflict. By telling you that someone else agrees with them, they make you feel outnumbered, dramatic, and forced to defend yourself against an invisible team. Then there is the white knight dynamic. This person actively stirs up conflict behind the scenes, creating a problem so they can step in and comfort you. They play the savior to ensure you remain dependent on them. For your playbook, counter triangulation with this exact script. If you have a problem with me, talk directly to me, not about me. And write down this rule for the white knight. You can accept genuine assistance, but you never have to surrender your personal power to receive it. True support gives you the tools to stand on your own 2 feet. Manipulative support requires you to stay broken so they can maintain their role. You now have the tools to categorize these toxic dynamics and the exact words needed to document your boundaries. Here is your completed playbook on screen. Pause the video right now and take a screenshot of these scripts so you have them ready for your next interaction. Enforcing these boundaries will cause friction with the person used to controlling the dynamic. Let it happen. Holding someone accountable is not an attack. Stating the truth is not an act of cruelty. You do not need anyone else's permission to believe your own experience. By trusting your reality, keeping your boundaries clear, and refusing to play their games, you step out of their narrative. Take the pen back and write your own storyline.